Welcome to Spiritual Rebirth Tarot. I'm Madeline, and so nice to have you here. So today I would like to do a pick a group reading for you. Pick a card, and I actually just have 3 cards here, and they are from the Angels and Ancestors deck, which is becoming one of my favorite decks of all time. I saw it, I thought, you know what, I think I would enjoy that because it has angel energy, but also shamanic, type energy, which are kind of drawn to both. And so it's been really exciting and a great journey to have it. And has worked out really well for helping people learn more about past lives and also where they have come from in life. And so like maybe you are a star seed and you are here on this planet at this time, but you came here from the Pleiades or from Orion, or maybe you are an angel who has come to the earth. You're an earth angel. Maybe you're an earth angel who likes to come many times. Somebody who's only come this time for the first time to help us in 2020, with the Great Awakening and the start of the Age of Aquarius, and especially this beginning. The energies have been ramping up, but they were really gonna go strong in December, and those kind of things. So a lot of us are here, and we're waking up to ourselves in a lot of different places. So there are many different ways that we can find out more about ourselves and where we come from. And so in this case, I would like to do pick a card. Who are you? So who are you, not just right now, but just inside your soul? Who is your soul? Who am I? Isn't that the biggest question? Who am I? So who are you? So there's a group, the first group with the white stone is group A, group B with the tiger eye, and group C with the red stone. So we have A, B, and C. So we will start with, we'll have down in the description, you can see where you can actually get the deck if you're interested in it. You can get a private reading if you want to know more about your past lives. But also down there'll be a list of, to be able to go straight to group A, group B, or group C. So let's spend a little time in meditation, thinking about which group is best to pick for you. Okay, we will begin our journey. So who are you? So let's start with the first card. And the first card is Stargazer. Set your sights higher. Oh, beautiful. So I want you to spend a moment taking a look at this picture and just take a deep breath, breathe. What is it? I'm trying to get it in better focus. There. What is this showing you? What are you feeling? What is it kind of saying to you about who you are? Because this is a general reading. And so what things that I'll talk about are just one story that's coming out. But your story may be a little different. And so I pray that you would get the story that's for you in your heart. One thing I'm noticing is you can see the stars through him. Even though he looks completely whole, maybe he isn't. Like he's a little bit see-through. You can see the star, the stars either on of it, or you can see the stars through him. So I think he's a little translucent. So I think for me, and there are a lot of symbols on the apparatus he's using to look at the stars there, which is a telescope in astronomy. So I think that when I look at this card, the things that come to me are, if you've spent a lot of time as a child looking at the stars and thinking that they're really wonderful, as you've gone through your life, you think a lot about the stars. Maybe your favorite is the Pleiades, maybe your favorite is the Belt of Orion, maybe your favorite is these different ones. You might look into, the Pleiadians, the Orions, the people from Atlantis, different places, and see if that resonates you. And the reason I think of that is coming out is because of this kind of ethereal nature. So you may come from a place where you are not as physically solid as we are here. Their atoms are a little further apart. And then also, when you look at these symbols, some of the symbols could be the Reiki symbols, because Reiki uses symbols. Buddhism uses symbols. Let's see here. Obviously all the Celts and the Druids, they have the runes. They could be the runes. I mean, these symbols could mean a lot of different things to you. They could also mean different religions, that you're somebody who really responds to, more than one religion, and that you've never just been just a Catholic or, something like that. You've always, wanted to look at all the different religions. Because I know they have like all the symbols of the religions in the Universal Unitarian Church, up in the front, because they celebrate all the different faiths. His eyes are blue-green, so he definitely could be a star seed coming to the earth. But also, he could be an astronomer. Somebody who at one time looked at the stars. Or, the three wise men that came to see Jesus. They were studiers of the stars. So there might be many different things that will resonate for you. And that's the biggest thing with this, is what resonates in your own heart when you see this. And when this came up for me, because this card came up for me in my past life reading, and I instantly was like, oh, I guess I was an astronomer. I didn't think of any of the other possibilities when I saw the card. So that's why I wanted you to spend a little time looking at it, before I said anything. All right, let's pull a little bit of tarot. Why is this card here? I'm going to use the Shadowscapes. That's listed in the description as well. So the Shadowscapes Tarot. I like to put Reiki energy into the deck. I don't know whether these guys look the same to me or they feel the same to me. The energies feel the same. I think it's the energies. So just for the kinds of cards, these are the King of Swords, Seven of Swords, and Six of Cups. Okay, so in the regular tarot decks, the King of Swords has a lot to do with truth and honesty. But one of the things that just stood out to me the most here was this drawing, of the perfect man, and how man is symmetrical. Is it Michelangelo that did those drawings? So it could be that it could be that you were an astronomer in the time of Michelangelo. It could be that, see how he's standing on the head, on a skull? And he has like energy coming out of his head, and he's an angel. So you could be an angel. I just thought of a fallen angel. That was the first thing that came to my head, a fallen angel. Because of the dark birds and kind of the dark energy. But definitely, if you're resonating with angel, I would say that powerful angel that, and I don't know all the angel colors very well yet, so it probably, or archetypes, so you might look at the archangels that are either in the lavender or the lavender or yellow, which, so like in those categories. So lavender or yellow, or somebody who, yeah. And then there's an owl. So you could have been a very wise person at that time of Michelangelo. Those are the two that is coming out to me with this card, is a very powerful angel who doesn't always know exactly right from wrong, or exactly doesn't care, and doesn't look at it that way as right or wrong, but rather as with light or without light, which is darkness. And then somebody who in the time of like an astronomer in the time of Michelangelo and those time periods. So this one is the Seven of Swords. Again, a lot of this purple and yellow energies. And all of these swords are coming down into this rock, which instantly makes me think of King Arthur and his knights. So he could have been a King Arthur around his knights of the Round Table. Like one of those knights, maybe. He definitely could be one of those knights. Also, his feet are of an animal. So it could be like a time when humans were just, like, he looked at the stars a lot, because you're a stargazer and you set your sights higher. But this was a time period when animals were just, humans were just starting to be sentient creatures, like one of the first, very old soul. An old soul. But the swords and the stone just really make me think of, the knights of the Round Table. So that kind of time period with the medieval castles and it could, a stargazer at that time would be like, kind of like a magician or Merlin, you know, kind of thing. Okay, and then the Six of Cups is this little girl playing tea. You see the person behind her. This always makes me think of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. Maybe something resonates with you with that. But to be a stargazer, yeah, there's a lot of fish in the water here. A lot of fish. So it could be simple, and you're out in nature, shining a light. So could be kind of like a person who was kind of shunned and had to spend a lot of time out in the wilderness trying to survive. So, okay, so those are some of the options that you could have from the stargazer. What, you know, in this case, I am not going to spend a lot of time investigating each one of these. What you can do is you could say, you know what, I really resonated with a medieval knight, like that really resonated with me. And then, you know, what you can do is a reading where you say, okay, what was your life like as a medieval knight? What was your life? I think that's the one that I resonated with the most. And so you were raised in a home with your parents were farmers, and you know, you learned how to farm, you learned the crops, you learned how things went with the farming, and that's probably what you were expected to do. But you really had a desire to get out there and go and discover the world. And you know, doing that, you had a partner in crime, you know, someone that went with you, that you kind of like left, just off you went from the from that world there in the you know, the harvest and the, you know, things with your parents, and you just say, you know what, let's go. And that was at a fairly early age, you know, and then in those travels, you kind of got a little lost, you got a little curious as to where to go, and you were really doing a lot of searching and a lot of, maybe a lot of soul searching, as well as a lot of just, you know, trying to decide what's best. And you came up with a situation where you were kind of threatened on all sides. And there was a lot of conflict that you had to deal with. And it could be that you know, this is the inside, you know, I kind of have the feeling that something came up where you were accused of something that you hadn't done. And as a result, you had to defend yourself. And in the process of defending yourself, you found that you really had, you were able to defend your honor. So, maybe at that time is when you learned how to really fight effectively, so that you could, do that duel or whatever was necessary to, defend your honor. And so once you did that, you had to go and live this life. And so you lived a traveling life, and then we were talking about, being a knight. So, you were living this traveling life, going from place to place, finding a lot of things and using your fighting skills that you had. And as you could see that maybe you had like some kind of a dog or some kind of animal that came with you, and you were guided. And so during that time, and probably in all this traveling, you were having to use the stars, to guide your way. And you really were a very successful knight. You were able to protect yourself. You had a lot of skill in that, and so that's how you finished off your life. And I think the biggest thing with the stargazers related to that, as I'm just thinking, is set your sights higher. So for you, the way you felt was, if you had stayed, at the home, doing the planting, the farming. I mean, farming is really a great thing. It's something that our world needs. We need food to eat. But for you, setting your sights higher was to go out, find the world, and find your place in the world. So, okay, so this is group number 1. Thank you for coming to the reading. And if it didn't resonate with you, feel free to try one of the other groups and see if it does. And hopefully some of the different ideas that we came up with, maybe one of those resonated with you as well. Okay, we will see you later. Hello, group 2. It's so nice to have you here. Let's take a look. We have the she-wolf, unleash the wild within. Okay, so here's the she-wolf. So what I would like you to do, before I really talk about anything, is, go into your own heart. And what are some of the first things that just come to your mind when you see this picture and you think about, lives that you may have had in the past, or who you are, who am I? Okay. So one of the things that I am attracted to is, the concept of like the werewolf, that she's both the wolf and a human. And so it could be that you started out as an animal for your first life. Now, I don't know. I haven't read about it enough to know if that's true, but I am quite confident I started out as an animal, because all of my shaman like journeys and stuff about past lives and whatnot that I've had so far, I'm an animal. I'm a stag or baby deer. So I don't know. I think it's possible. In fact, I feel like I was a guide for people a long time, and I still feel like I came from somewhere before that, like maybe an angel or something else, a soul coming in and spent some time as an animal first. So this this person, I'm thinking, may have started as an animal before living a life as a human. And so you may always have a little bit of that animal that jumps out of you now and then. Because of that, you have just that desire to be out in nature and in the wild. Also with the full moon here, she definitely could be a witch, you know, that celebrates, you know, it's like naked in the full moon. She has a pretty strong, you know, beaded headdress. And so she definitely could be, you know, in the time of Native Americans, she could, you know, be the she-wolf, you know, or like have a wolf outfit for a lot of the celebrations and stuff. Also, oh my goodness, there are dog paw prints on the moon. I don't know if you can look at that. And then I noticed that there's a north, south, east, west signature. So she could have been a shaman or some kind of a spiritual leader in those times of like a Native American time frames. So I guess what I want to try to do is something may resonate with you more than another. Like you might resonate with the wolf. You're like, yeah, I started out as a wolf. Or you may resonate with the woman being a shaman, or the man. You're a man, and you're just, you know, you feel like you were a man that was a shaman. You in some ways were either a wizard or a witch that dealt with the moon and was kind of almost persecuted for your beliefs around wolves and werewolves. You could be a werewolf believer, well, werewolf hunter, those kind of things. You could come from another world that has werewolves, because most of the things that we think of here that are mysterious and that we think, you know, it's because of our past memories from other lives. You know, like a Sasquatch. You'll see Sasquatch, well, what it really is a memory imprint rather than actually seeing him. So the same thing could be with werewolves. Pause here. I had to plug in my camera phone. Okay, so hopefully one of those ideas have resonated with you. If not, you can try a different pile and see if that resonates more. Let's take, because it's really your own intuition that talks to you. And you'll have more than one past life, so this may be just one of them. And of course, remember the question is, who are you? So you definitely could be coming from, you know, a planet or a world that actually has creatures like werewolves, you know, creatures that go between a more animal and more human type of form, or more of a combination of those two forms. So let's take a look at the tarot here. This is the Dreamscape, or the Shadowscapes Tarot. I always think they look dreamy, so I want to call it Dreamscapes, but it's the Shadowscapes. And the below in the description are all the different decks that we use, so you can get those. Okay, so we have Queen of Wands, the World. Oh, it has that beautiful moon on it. And Ace of Pentacles. Oh, interesting. Okay, so the Queen of Wands. So you definitely could have had some, she's playing a harp in the tree. You definitely could have a musical, you know, you you could have been a musician. You could have been a keeper of beautiful birds. And I'm thinking maybe like a musician that had a pet bird, and that you still really love and are attracted to birds. Now this one has a lot of foxes that are listening to her. So it could be that you, you know how, because I was thinking about maybe like a witch or a wizard that was involved with the moon. And so it could be that music was a big part of that, and kind of like nature and bringing nature to you, like somebody who, you know, a bird will land on your hand, or you know, animals are really attracted to you. But it could be because you were an animal first, and so you still have some of that like animal feel to you. So animals feel really comfortable around you. And then the world, you know, definitely, you know, again, you have the moon in this card. A lot of, she's looking into like a crystal ball. So definitely somebody who was involved in moonology, studying the moon, you know, learning about the lunar cycles and having that be a big part of your life. Could even be that you were an astronomer who studied the moon, you know, in just like a more recent lifetime. Something, I feel like it's something to do with the moon. And then here again, we have that circular energy, both up above and down below. And these, so it could be something again to do with like an animal keeper. You have all these pets, you know, like people keep lizards and stuff as pets. So I'm really being drawn to either somebody who works with animals, spent some time as an animal, came from a world where you know, animals and humans are, that's not really what people are. It's kind of like more of a combination of an animal, human look, or something to do with music and the moon. So that's what I'm gonna kind of go toward for myself, is this like a lunar musician, like somebody who almost uses the it's almost more like this pile is the answer to who am I. And it doesn't matter what lifetime you're in, you are connected to nature and the moon and to music. So if we look at maybe your most recent lifetime, so the most recent past, a time before now. Put some Reiki energy in the deck. So as a child, you felt very magical, mystical, but also kind of like tied, like, trapped, and like you couldn't really go anywhere, like who you were wasn't understood by anyone around you. And then for quite a while, you just kind of did what was expected of you, which wasn't a whole lot. And you kind of just sat around. And, I'm thinking maybe you were a cowboy or a cowgirl. And that's where you kind of started finding you started finding the moon again. You'd be out in the night doing something, wrangling something, finding some creature that had wandered off, and you worked with animals, and you looked at the moon, you sit at the moon, you play your harmonica, your music. And so you had all those things, but you just kind of still felt trapped. And then, somewhere along, you had like something come up in your life that made you feel like you were tied, you were a captive. So, I'm not getting the feeling that you were actually abducted. I feel like this is in your adulthood, that you like lost your job and you felt like you had nowhere to turn. And maybe you lost a limb, and so you couldn't do the job you were doing, and you were kind of stuck and didn't know where to go. And, for a while, you just had a lot of conflict in yourself and fighting in yourself and trying to figure out where to go. But at some point, somebody came into your life that was very, very harsh and dogmatic, told you to get up off of your butt and do something with yourself. Go out there and be the person that you're supposed to be. And so even though you weren't able to physically do a lot because of your injuries, you were able to spend a lot of time in meditation, singing songs and looking at the moon and kind of having that old energy that you had as a child. And the timing card is the matriarch of blades, which isn't a really strong period of time. This picture is fairly old, so I think that you lived a fairly long time for that time period. The time period of the working on the prairie and working with the animals, and this being a cowboy. So I think you had that. You were probably at least 50 or 60 before you passed, somewhere in there. So okay, so that is the reading for the past life. I think the point there that's kind of really exciting is you love the moon, you love music, and no matter what you're doing in life, bring that out, because that's your soul. Okay, let's go on to group 3. Oh, all right, let's take a look at group 3. The medicine guardian, be open to healing information. So what I'd like you to do is just take a look at this picture, take a deep breath and meditate. And before I talk about it at all, what kind of stands out to you? What really comes out to you the most is who am I? What will be the answer by the picture? Okay, so Now I'll go ahead and talk about a few of the things that come to my mind when I see this picture as a potential, who am I? I mean, to me, the first one is, a green healing angel, earth angel. And certainly you could go and read about earth angels and feel like if you resonate with an earth angel, and that would be something useful for you to do because of picking this group and pulling this card. And with, such a strong green, it's definitely Archangel Raziel. And of course, he has all the angels that work with him, to help with healing. And so you could be one of those, and you've come to the earth to help with some more healing than usual on the planet, especially in this time, of COVID, and be able to help with that healing that needs to be done. There is but behind him is that pattern. And of course, the patterns like that are created by sound waves at certain frequencies. And so you can think of the vibration. And so part of the ministry of an earth angel is to raise the vibration of the planet. So, that is another indication toward an earth angel. Also the blonde with blue or green eyes. And in his hand, the cup, I'm thinking that he's using a pen to write, but it's that very exotic pen that's the symbol for medicine, which has the snakes wrapped around the rod, and it also has either a pine cone or asparagus, something like that at the end of it, the end of the emblem. So it could be that you work with food, like a nutritionist. So, who am I? I think this one really just strongly comes out that you could be an earth angel. Now, if you aren't an earth angel, you're somebody who throughout your lifetimes has focused on healing. So I don't think it has been just this lifetime, but multiple lifetimes of healing, being a doctor, a nurse, working in those kind of fields. You could also maybe have a lot of ancestry related to the healing arts. And of course, healing goes all the way back to the shaman, the Celts, using nature for healing. And I'm also noticing that he has a plain white t-shirt on. It's kind of interesting. So, I mean, in your past lives, you could certainly have been male or female. It's interesting. I always wondered if you could switch, but I've been listening to this book called Journey of Souls, and I have a link to it at the bottom of the description. It's one of the books that I have listed there that I have enjoyed reading, and I'm still in the middle of it, but one person that he has under hypnosis, and they're talking about their past life, and he has them, they're actually at the point of death, and they are a woman in their past life, but currently their body is a man. So certainly when you look at this card, you don't have to think, man or woman. Especially angels aren't really as much, that identity. Okay, be open to healing information. I know that this card, because I've read this card is about learning more things about health as well, and being willing to accept new modalities that might be coming to you. So you could have been a metaphysical healer in the past, and not really looked at very highly by those around you. So let's pull some tarot to get some ideas. Interesting that the thing that is the most interesting is that these first two cards, well, I mean, it's the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Wands, but they're so strikingly just, it's like that thing that he had, or, you know, the angel is holding. I mean, not exactly, but it's kind of that same feel. You know, he's holding this kind of like a scepter of being a doctor, and these are both, you know, surrounding scepters, and this one is kind of all about the food and nutrition. So I think you definitely could have been a nutritionist, or could be a nutritionist. So the Ace of Swords, let's look at that one first. So the sword is here. It's kind of like letting off light. It's very beautiful, and it has a, you know, it's gorgeous. And all the creatures and everything are kind of looking to it and lauding it. So my gut feeling is that you are either an earth angel, your past life is a very successful metaphysical practitioner, and that your emphasis was nutrition and diet. So let's take a look at the tarot for if you have a past life as a very successful metaphysical, you know, physician, practitioner. So let's take a look at your life from there. Now the angels, I'll leave that one to, I think some earth angels come more than once, but some, you know, this is their only time they're here. Okay. So your mother was a radical feminist, and she was like, you know what, I am woman power. So your mother was a radical feminist, and you were a little kleptomaniac. Like, where's Steve? You know, you stole all their hearts. Cute little boy or girl that stole the hearts of everyone around, as your mother was out preaching her gospel, going her, you know, this is what we do. And something happened where you were left all alone, and for a while you kind of went through like just almost a crazy phase, like maybe you lost your parents, you went through some kind of a heartache or depression that just put you in a really weird space, and really brought on a lot of pain. And somebody came to you and said, you know what, and helped you out of that. And it could be that's how you ended up, becoming this warrior for greatness, for goodness, and for people to succeed in their lives. This person came to you, this person who had a lot of truth and honesty, and said, you know what, I'm going to help you with your pain. And then you became an advocate for that. So whatever happened to you, whether it was physical, mental, or spiritual, it pushed you into that new life with this passion for especially nutrition. So it might be that, either you lost your parents, or you had a heart attack, or something happened where you just needed to change your diet and your ways to continue on with your life. In order to do that, you were a blessing to others and helped others in that way. I don't feel like it's the end of the story. Yeah, I think I feel like what this is saying is that, that person became really important to you in your life, and this work that you were doing, and that, hunkering down, doing this work for a long time, but this person became really significant in that work, and you guys did it together. And yeah, you became the emperor. It's that shiny sword. Yeah, the strong, not the know-it-all, but maybe the know-it-all in a good way. That you knew it all. And then the end. So, yeah, so, you may resonate more with the Earth Angel that's come to help at this time in 2020 to heal and to minister healing to those around you, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. Just as many people need mental and emotional healing right now because of the having to stay home and not being with friends like they used to, not traveling as much as we used to. My kids came to me today and said, when are we going on vacation? We need to go. And I'm like, going, just let's get in the car and drive. But then I'm like, this state says that if we come back to it, well, we have to spend 2 weeks in isolation. So we have to be ready to, not see friends and family and everybody for 2 weeks. So, not only is it harder to travel because, you have to wear your mask and things are closed, but, coming back and what do we isolate ourselves in every state that we go to as we travel across the country. Hey, we don't have a regular job right now, so that'd be great, except for this problem. So, you may be an Earth Angel to help people at this time. It may be that your past life was, this great nutritionist who really helped a lot of people get on the right path with their health. Well, I hope that this went great for you, Group C. And if you feel like this didn't resonate at all, go try Group A or B. And they're all very different messages. So, okay, take care.